The advice I give to the University of Phoenix alum is to embrace life. Life is too short. Whatever you have your mind set to, go after it now. Don't wait until tomorrow so you can sing your shoulda, coulda, wouldas. I shoulda did this. I wish I had did that. No, just go after it and do it. And if you fail at something, it's okay. And then create the light bulb, and everybody else then accomplish their first things in one fell swoop. We got to remember, we got to go after things in those moments and live each day like it's your last, so you don't have to think about tomorrow or think about what happened yesterday. So embrace today for what it is and keep your head up no matter what you're going through, and break open doors and barriers that no one else has broken open yet.
Hello and welcome to the Degrees of Success podcast. Today we have an extraordinary guest, Hodari P.T. Brown. Hodari is a military veteran, business leader, mentor, and minister whose career spans more than 15 years of leadership in federal service, military operations, and community impact. He is the first African-American male valedictorian of his high school, fun fact there, earned his MBA from University of Phoenix, and is now pursuing his Doctor of Management in Organizational Leadership. Also should mention along the way, Hodari has served in key roles at agencies like Social Security Administration, CDC, Department of Veterans Affairs, while also founding initiatives to empower entrepreneurs and mentor youth. His life's mission is clear: to lead, serve, and uplift communities through education, advocacy, and faith. Please welcome Hodari P.T. Brown. Hodari, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Keith. I appreciate this opportunity to join you all.
Excellent. We're excited to have you. So first, I want to thank you for your service to our country. It's an honor to have you here. Many people talk about a sense of calling whenever they choose to serve their country. So to start off today, I'd like to ask you, what motivated you to take that path and dedicate yourself to serving your country?
Great question. So honestly, Keith, I had just graduated from the University of Phoenix with my master's, and I was praying to God about showing me a different direction and giving me a new opportunity to serve. And I was on my computer as well as watching TV. A commercial came on the TV screen about joining the military, and then it's like those little side things that pop up. It was one for the military as well. So I said, let me just see where this takes me. So I applied, did a little test they had, and probably the next day the recruiter called me and asked me would I be interested in coming in and have a sit down with them, because based off the results of that little test I took, I scored very high and everything else. So I was intrigued. I sat down with them probably 2 days later, and the rest was history. I signed up and I started to pursue my calling, and it's become a career as well as a passion of mine to continue to serve my country and my nation.
Well, thank you once again for your service. It's very clear that you are very passionate about that level of service. So before we dive deeper into your career and education and some more about your military service, I want to go back to something real quick, to an early milestone of yours, and that's becoming the first African-American male valedictorian of your high school. So I'm kind of curious, how did that moment feel for you personally? And is there any special memory from graduation day that sticks out, or either like preparing to give your speech or the process of giving your speech yourself? What sticks out in your mind from that day?
Man, it's so crazy. So when I think about graduating from my high school at that time period, I had already had my full ride to go to college in my junior year. I knew where I was going for undergrad in my junior year. So my senior year, I was just strictly focused on finishing out strong. I knew I was in the running for valedictorian along with one or two other students, but I knew I was slightly ahead of them. If I, continued to get all A's and keep my 4.0, then I would edge them out. And I just remember that senior year being a lot easier than my first 3 years in my mind, because I really felt like I was at the finish line already. I knew where I was going. I knew I was graduating. But if I wanted to culminate everything, it was to be the valedictorian, and not only the first African American male valedictorian, but first African male valedictorian with a 4.0 on top of that. So set the bar really high and with perfect attendance and everything. So it was just one of the moments in my life that really set me apart from other people. It set me on the trajectory that I'm on today. And it really just, when I think about it, a lot of other people continue to bring it up to me, and some people assume because I was the smartest kid in school, I was class president and stuff like that. Because some of my classmates like, "When you are class president?" No, I was not your class president. But it's good. It's a good feeling when we have reunions and people still remember me as the smart kid in school and in their valedictorian and other aspects. So that's my fondest memory of it all.
Nice, nice. So that's such a powerful milestone. And, from early achievements back then to everything that you've accomplished since then, it's clear that education has been an extraordinary pillar in your life. So I'm kind of curious as to who or what influenced you to, make such a commitment to education and to have that be such a central focus in your life. What kind of made you want to make education so central to yourself?
So my parents are very pro education. They, although neither one of them went on to college, they both have their high school degrees. But so they wanted their children. I'm the sixth or seventh children, and they instilled in us to always achieve higher. They wanted us to go to college. They wanted us to learn. They would take us to the library on the weekends. They Before we could go to bed, we had to read a story to them at night. So they were very much into pushing us to be the best we can on the educational level. And on top of that, if we asked them a question and they was like, "You don't know the answer to it, go get the encyclopedia and look it up. Go get the Britannicals and look it up." So it was one of them things that really, the education part, my parents really pushed me and instilled that piece in me. And I just carried the torch on and continued to just go higher and higher in my educational pursuits.
You are a big into mentorship. Um, it seems to be a cornerstone of your work. So, what drives you and your passion to guiding others? And what's one success story that might stand out to you when it comes to either who you mentor or who has mentored you along the way?
Great question. So the reality is mentorship is so powerful to me because so many people have had their hands on my life, even as a young age and even till now. Like I feel like mentorship has shaped me in so many different ways. And one mentor in particular that has shaped me more than anyone was my elementary principal. To this day, we still keep in touch when we see each other at alumni events and activities. And one of the things she always instilled to me was to always be careful about who you hang around, who you associate with, and on top of that, make sure that you're always doing the right thing no matter who's looking. And that sticks out with me when I look at mentorship, when I mentor youth, regardless of at church, if at my high school, alma mater, college level, doesn't matter. Even some people, even some mentoring some of my peers, I just want to make sure that I'm giving them the best advice that I would give myself. I'm also encouraging them to look at different things from a different perspective. Don't always take on things personally. And it's hard to do even in adult life. Sometimes we look at things, somebody didn't speak to us today. So we might take it personal. Like, what's wrong with them? What's wrong with me? They mad at me and stuff like that. But it's really not always about you. Sometimes people just having bad days. Probably didn't even see you, probably didn't hear you when you said hello because they're in their own little world. So I look at mentorship as a personal thing because people have helped develop me and grow me, and people have instilled to me good habits and have instilled where I need to actually show up and be seen, as well as when I need to just step back, reflect, and listen. So mentorship to me is a twofold street. I'm always looking for someone else to inspire me, to help me along the way, and I'm always looking to inspire and help others as well as guide them. And also understand that everybody who probably started out with you won't always end up in the finish line with you, but it's okay because we all got our different paths of life. So that's another thing that I've learned about mentorship and how to mentor and how to be a better mentor, as well as accepting people to be my mentor.
Absolutely. We learn so much from the people that mentor us, but also I think sometimes I know I often take for granted of how much I learn from the people that I take on and mentor myself. So are there any particular lessons that you have taken away from the people that you have mentored in particular?
Yeah, so when I love to mentor people younger than me because it keeps me in the loop on what's happening that I really don't pay attention to. So
Makes
those
us young,
conversations
right?
are yes, it makes us young, but it also makes me aware of what the future is looking like, what they're thinking about, how they're thinking, and what things I probably need to pay attention to that I didn't know was existing or developing. And so those type of mentorship things are some of the tidbits that I like to take away, and then and on top of, like you said, it keeps us young in the sense of we get a whole different light of energy sometimes when I'm mentoring those who are younger than me and those who are even not adults yet. It really takes me back to my youthful days and some of the mistakes that I made. And I'm looking at someone else almost making these same mistakes. So I try to instill in them like the good habits of what not to do, not because I didn't do it, but because I did it, I don't want you to do it that way. You should try to do it better than how I did it. So it helps me in that aspect. So that's what I've taken from them and how to mentor, how to be a good mentor to others. So they've instilled some youthfulness in me, giving me some energy and giving me some things to, I say homework or little nuggets I need to look up that I didn't know about.
That's beautiful. I want to address something else real quick, and that's your commitment to ministry. You are a licensed minister. So, how does your faith influence your leadership style and the way that you serve your community?
Man, my faith drives everything that I do nowadays. It was a point in my life where I was divided and torn in terms of should I be a minister because I believe that a minister should be this perfect individual. It was only one perfect individual, that was Jesus Christ. So my faith has driven me to understand that we all make mistakes in life, but ownership and responsibility is very important. And even in my faith, I've grown to understand that as I continue to go about my life and serve others and instill in others my faith system and the system of living a godly life, living a righteous life. That you also need to understand that we all going to make mistakes, and forgiveness is huge in regards to being a spiritual leader and being a person of a ministry. So my ministry and being a licensed minister drives everything that I do and how I do it and what I do nowadays. I don't if it doesn't align with my belief system and the beliefs that I believe, I try not to take on service projects or even a job position that's not speaking to me the way the Lord has told it to speak to me. So it drives every aspect of where I'm at, from my dating life to my personal life to my professional life. So that's where my ministry has really, these last 8 years of being a licensed minister and being a part of ministry, has driven me in ways that I didn't see myself being driven, and has actually made a lot of decision making a whole lot easier compared to where I was prior to really pursuing to become a minister and to serve God in this way.
It keeps us really rooted in our humanity, right? Whenever we rely on
Yes.
a level of faith.
Yes.
So in balancing ministry with professional and personal commitments, that can all be challenging. So as we start to talk about kind of more of these themes and these buckets that you fill up in your life, like how do you integrate all of these roles without kind of losing focus? I know that, like, I have a few different professional buckets, a few different personal buckets.
Yes.
How do you as a professional manage all of these?
So number one, thank God for technology. Like our phones has become our calendar system and everything else. I don't have to memorize what meeting I got next or what I got going on this day, next day, and everything else. I quickly look at my phone, look at my schedule for the day, look at the activities I got coming up for the week, and balance things out. So balance is very huge. I know people like to talk work-life balance. I believe in work-life balance. If my office hours are from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., those my office hours. Once I leave that clock at 5 p.m., if I'm not the head honcho of that company and I'm not getting paid those big bucks, I don't have to look at that phone again until I clock back in the next day. So I try to make sure that I'm balancing my life professionally as well as my personal life in a way that drives the things that I love to do and want to do. I don't take on unnecessary things no more. I love to look at things from an aspect of the glass isn't half full, it's always full with me because I'm going to make it full. I'm going to look at things that I want to do, look at things that I don't want to do and say, yeah, I don't think I'm doing this. So I'm going to decline this invitation. I'm going to do the things that I need to do at work in order to be efficient, effective, and help the company that I'm working for. But at the end of the day, I don't take that stress home with me because stress can be a killer of life and can be a killer of enjoyment, and you probably losing out on precious moments with your family and friends. And I think that's one of the things COVID taught us is that time is precious. We don't know how things will happen and how they will happen, but in the time that you do have, try to enjoy people, try to celebrate your own life, and celebrate the things that you want to be a part of.
Sounds like I could actually take a few lessons from you, and definitely in the shutting off after 5 o'clock situation. You mentioned a little bit just about you touched a little bit on COVID and like mental health and things like that. I know that you have some experience in mentoring, in particular, other veterans and things like that. In terms of like their mental health and what they go through. Describe a little bit more about your experience in mentoring other veterans and what you do to help make sure that they are taking care of themselves.
Great question, and thank you for the opportunity. So it's an organization called the National Alliance for Mental Illness. I joined the chapter here locally in Michigan called NAMI Metro, and I became a part of their speaker bureau. And it's where we talk about, it's a couple of different avenues of where they talk, where we get the opportunity for people like myself who suffers from PTSD. I have the opportunity to talk about my own experience and the things I've went through and how I've overcome my challenges, and I'm still overcoming. I might still experience some challenges here and there, but those challenges don't define me. So with NAMI, it's helped me encourage others to don't allow stigma to get in the way of you getting treatment. For veterans, a lot of time we were told just to suck it up. There's nothing wrong with us because we had this soldier mentality or tough guy mentality. And I try to help my other veterans understand that's not the mentality no more. There's resources and a bunch of resources through the VA and through our vet centers that exist not only for you but for your spouse or your kids who can get mental health assistance to probably help you along the way. So there's many different ways I try to encourage veterans. Don't live in silence, and we can be in this together. We have various support groups at the VA as well as at vet centers across America that people can take advantage of. But locally here in Michigan, I just really, whenever I meet a veteran, I make sure number one, he's taking advantage of the VA system and the benefits that they've earned rightfully so by serving our country. Number two, making sure their mental health is right by encouraging them to seek out the help that's out there and that currently exists. And number three, letting them know that I'm here for them, letting them know that they have my number, my email, reach out to me anytime of day and night. In a crisis situation, I'm going to come show up and be present for you in those moments. So that's how I try to help veterans deal with mental health. And it helps me deal with my own mental health by holding myself accountable, as well as having others reach out and hold me accountable when they haven't heard from me in regards to certain peer support groups that I've participated in. So that's a good thing in that aspect.
It sounds like such a great give and take. It helps you just as much as you are helping them in that process.
It does.
That's amazing. So let's talk a little bit more about your federal service. That career spans, like I mentioned in the introduction, agencies like SSA, CDC, Veterans Affairs. So what does just public service mean to you personally, and how does that inform some of the other aspects of your life?
So public service can be a thankless job in any aspect. And one of the things I've learned by working for the various agencies is they're all different. Every position is different. While with Social Security, I was more in front of customers on a regular, taking claims, filling out Social Security cards, things of that nature. And in some of the other positions, I've been more behind the scenes. But with each role I've had, I'm still serving the public in a capacity because some customer or some human being is getting the end result of the resources and services that we're offering. So I try to make sure when I'm doing public service, I make sure I know and I teach my colleagues the same thing, that is bigger than us. You got to think about the people who take advantage of a lot of the services that we offer, regardless with the SBA or there are small business entrepreneurs all across America who need our assistance, who need these resources, who need to know that we exist and that we're fighting for them and doing the work on behind the scenes to get them a lot of the resources they need in order to not just be a small business, but to thrive as a small business entrepreneur. Then working for the CDC, it's your national health organization, basically. We do deal with a lot of things and a lot of research and a lot of people who depend on us across from universities to your small scale pharmacy and medical centers in rural America. So the CDC plays an integral role in all those aspects. And even during COVID, they were a major contributor to the COVID vaccine and the distribution of it and updating people on how to fight against it. So it's very important whenever there's an outbreak of any kind, if it's COVID-19 or the measles, CDC plays its hand in that role of educating the public, getting the information out there, getting the resources to those areas in order to fight it. And then lastly, with the VA, we serving veterans in every aspect, regardless if you're on the benefits side or the healthcare side. We're serving veterans who have served our country, who have fought for our rights and freedoms, and they deserve to be a part to get these resources that are out there, regardless if it's getting education benefits, regardless if it's getting a disability benefit or if it's getting health care from us. We need to make sure that we're giving them the right information, getting them scheduled, getting them the appointments necessary, and getting them the resources and funds that they need in order to have dignified life after service.
You've launched initiatives to empower people like entrepreneurs, whether they're veterans or anyone else. So what informs your philosophy around kind of supporting entrepreneurship?
Well, for the small business support environment, how everything pours back into it, because when we look around our communities, we want to have small business entrepreneurs who are actually putting resources back into the community. So if someone who lives in the community opens up a business in the community, that can lead to job growth in the community. They can hire people right there in their own community. They can also, if you're patronizing that business, they might support some programs, probably at the local elementary school, middle school, high school. They might give back to the local church in a capacity. So depending on what the small business is, what the entrepreneur is doing in the services, it's so many ways that it can benefit the entirety of the whole community, the entirety of the whole city, and the entirety of the whole landscape across America. Many of us don't know that small businesses contribute almost half of our economy at times in some areas. So that's why it's important for those small business entrepreneurs to have the resources, to have not only the finances, but the backing of local politicians, the backing of their local government, the backing of Chamber of Commerce and the SBA and other aspects. And then just making sure what I like to do with small business, ensuring that you have a fireproof plan. And that fireproof plan has to be beyond just finances. Like if you make sure you got employees that you can trust, make sure you're training your employees on not to just do one task, but to do multiple tasks within your business. And lastly, also encouraging small business entrepreneurs to partner up sometimes. Sometimes it's best to not go at everything alone and feeling like you always have to do every aspect of your business alone. If you're not good with accounting and everything, find a small business accountant to do your taxes and your business taxes so that you can get that work done. And that could be one less hassle around tax season. If you're a bakery, but you want your baked goods to go beyond just people coming to your local shops, see if some restaurants want to buy some of your baked goods from you. So it's so many different ways and aspects to do things. And we just have to encourage small business to do more collaboration, more partnerships, and as well as support each other across the spectrum for different services and products. And that's what I try to encourage and what I try to do in some of the organizations that I work with in the ecosystem of small business entrepreneurs. That's what I actually like to speak on and how to assist small business in those aspects.
Your community is very lucky to have you, by the way.
Thank you.
Just a quick follow-up question to that. What's your favorite part about being in the community or living within the community that you're in?
My favorite part is actually just being able to see a small business grow. Every time a small business open up, they have a 2 year. Most small businesses who open up only last for about 2 years in some aspects. I want them numbers to go down. So whenever I can celebrate a small business that's open up and they get to their 5 year mark, they get to a 3 year mark, so even sometimes a 10 year mark. I love that because that shows the growth, the potential, the support of just other people coming into that business to help that business grow. So that's what I love to see and how it really keeps me going and keeps me encouraged.
That's amazing. You've been recognized with numerous awards for service and leadership throughout the years. So I'm kind of curious, are there any recognitions or awards that kind of hold more significance for you and why?
None holds no more significance than the other. Every award I take it with great honor. Just recently, earlier this year, the University of Phoenix honored me as one of their first Illuminary Award winners for my service. It was actually a surprise for me. I wasn't expecting because I know it was the inaugural year, and I know the University of Phoenix has well over so many well-established alumni across the nation
1
who have
million
graduated
strong.
and walked. Yeah, so it was tough. Me being chosen one of 79 was truly a pleasure. And it was very shocking to me, and it did take me by surprise when I received the text message in the box, and I'm like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "Are you serious?" It's very humbling to know that out of the 1 million alumni we have, 1 million plus alumni we have, I was chosen of one of 79 for this inaugural award. So that's probably the most recent award I received that I'm truly proud of, and I'm honored to have. And it's something that culminates what I've done already, and just do the work and don't look for recognition, and people will recognize you for it in the end.
That's awesome. And that's actually a perfect segue. I was just about to ask you about the University of Phoenix luminaries. As we also, the University of Phoenix celebrates 50th anniversary, what does it feel like to be kind of a part of a legacy of kind of that historic moment?
Man, that feels like I said, it feels so wonderful to be a part of this historic legacy in that moment, because you one of the first ones to receive such an honor and such an award. And like you said, it's over 1 million strong alumni, and you're one of 79 in the first inaugural class for it. So it's one of them things where I put in the work over the years. I've done what I should be doing, and someone else looked at it, saw my work, saw my accomplishments, saw the things that I'm impacting, and believed I was one of the best. I'm truly honored to be one of those chosen.
Your work is not going unnoticed. And so I kind of want to go back and revisit your education real quick. So you earned your MBA from University of Phoenix, and now you're working on your doctorate, correct?
Yes.
So, I mean, how has that experience shaped the way you lead and the way that you kind of approach opportunities? And also, like, with all these buckets that you're filling, how do you manage to try to accomplish a doctorate degree with everything else that you're doing?
Well, it's not easy, because you got to have a work life balance, and trying to accomplish such an accomplishment as a doctorate is truly something that I've always wanted to do. After seeing my brother graduate with his bachelor's from the University of Phoenix, and I saw all these people come after him who getting their doctorate in various areas of the University of Phoenix, I said to myself, why did I pursue my doctorate? And at that point in time, it was like 2018, 2019. So that's when I started my journey for my doctorate. And it's one of them things where I knew it wouldn't be easy. I knew it would be times I might have to step back, review some things, and go back because of work changes and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's a pursuit that has got me this far. It's a pursuit that I'm planning to finish, because once you start something, you have to finish it, I believe. And it's just a truly humbling experience overall. But it's also one of them things where I know I only can do certain things in a certain moment, and I can't overdo it and overextend myself. So even when it comes to my work life balance, if this is something I want to finish, then I need to make sure I'm putting enough energy, enough time toward it. I'm putting enough time away and cutting myself off from the world in order to do the work that I need to do to put into the program.
Looking ahead, whenever are done with that doctorate degree, what do you want to pursue next after that, or what do you want to apply that doctorate degree toward?
Well, I do want to apply the doctorate degree toward being more of an organizational leader and expert in the field of organizational leadership. In terms of what's next, I couldn't even tell you. I'm led by the Spirit. So wherever the Lord takes me and whatever opportunities and doors open up, I will definitely be looking forward to pursue them and making a decision on it. But what I do know is I want to become one of the leading experts when it comes to organizational leadership and how we look at leadership in organizations in order to make positive, impactful, and effective ways of organizations being more successful when choosing leaders, having leaders, and growing leaders within their organizations.
We need more leaders like you. I can say that for sure.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
If you could go back and kind of speak to your younger self on that graduation day, What advice would you give your younger self about the road ahead, knowing everything that you know now and everything that you kind of experienced along the way?
Well, the crazy part is my speech was about looking ahead for my classmates and me. It was about looking towards the future and looking at this moment as the next moment of the rest of your lives. So that's the crazy part to it. So probably what I would add is to be patient with yourself. Like everyone has dreams and sometimes dreams get deferred, but at the end of the day, just because you didn't accomplish the actual dream you thought you would accomplish now doesn't mean you won't accomplish it at all. So stay patient, be graceful with yourself, and be forgiving of yourself, while also being patient in the pursuit of your dreams and achieving the things that you want to achieve.
That's beautiful. And as also a University of Phoenix alum, what advice would you give to other University of Phoenix alums that are either, looking to pursue a degree and looking to, get into the business of either mentorship or ministry or spirituality or anything like that you fill all of your cups with? What advice would you give to other University of Phoenix alum along their journey?
The advice I give to other University of Phoenix alum is to embrace life. Life is too short. Whatever you have your mind set to, go after it now. Don't wait until tomorrow so you can sing your shoulda, coulda, wouldas. I should have did this. Wish I had did that. No, just go after it and do it. And if you fail at something, it's okay. And then create the light bulb, and everybody else didn't accomplish their first things in one fell swoop. We got to remember, we got to go after things in those moments and go after it when we can. And that's one of the things I try to live by. Live each day like it's your last, so you don't have to think about tomorrow or think about what happened yesterday. So embrace today for what it is and keep your head up no matter what you're going through, and break open doors and barriers that no one else has broken open yet.
That's amazing. Hodari P.T. Brown, thank you so much for joining us today on Degrees of Success podcast. Your story is truly inspiring. Once again, thank you so much for your service to our country and everything that you do for your community.
Thank you.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Degrees of Success. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.